Good evening and welcome to this session of Tuesday's Encounter in New York. This program is presented every Tuesday at 7 p.m. New York time. My name is Mark Beecher and I'll be your host today. Our guest tonight is Eli Anai, living in Malaga, Spain. Eli is a superb guitarist, singer, and songwriter. Eli is currently working on several projects with other composers around the world, developing themes and messages supporting our human condition. Eli has dedicated his life and his talents to presenting his messages. Tonight's topic is how creativity can save your life. So welcome, Eli, and if you can open your microphone.
Hi, Mark. You guys see me good here?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Mark. It's a pleasure being here.
Oh, it's our pleasure to hear from you. So maybe you can tell us how you started on this phase of
Yes.
your life and your music.
Okay, so definitely let's go to the roots. Let's go to the beginning. I was always making music. I was born into music. My father played drums. My mom played guitar. Everybody in the house played something. So I was always into instruments and stuff. And I developed this natural interest into music, into playing different instruments and how sounds. I used to play this game when I was listening to a song, like, let me see what's the bass line and the drums, what are the drums doing, or the piano, how. So I tried to separate every instrument in a song to understand what every instrument was doing. So I was really into music. That was kind of my thing. And eventually, when I was studying, I was getting older and older. I decided to quit college and start making it a profession. So that's kind of how I end. Like, it's a short story, um, but that's kind of the short story of how I started making music as a living.
Well, that's a big leap when you make that decision to say, okay, I'm going to change my life path and do something that I really care about. So,
100%, 100%. You need courage to confront your parents and society and the opinions from the outside. Because nobody is going to tell you. Uh, at least we're in the circle and the environment I was in. Um, like, yeah, go for it. Like, you want to be a musician, so yeah, we support you 100%. It's like, no, you're not gonna make a living out of that. It's hard. Better be a lawyer or do something, study something. So yeah, this is the story we artists have to face sometimes.
right,
So
right.
yeah.
But you're doing it, you're enjoying it, and we're probably all better off for the fact that you are doing it. So,
Yeah, definitely. There is a point where you start, like, understanding yourself. So I wanna go back again to the beginning where I started making music, so we can focus on the main talk, which is how creativity how can save your life. And I'm gonna start, like, telling my experience of how creativity changed my life, and then we can just move forward from there. So when I decided to quit college and to start making music, the first step for me was start making music in the streets, start busking. That was kind of a natural step, because I wasn't ready to start knocking every door. I was like, hey, I'm a musician, I want to play gigs here. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to go to a restaurant or to an event or a venue and play songs. I wasn't confident enough in my own songs or in my own skills, you know, to
right.
so I was like, let's go to the street. And so I remember the first days I was in the street. If I saw somebody I knew, I hide the how do you say, the bag, the guitar bag, And I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not asking for money here. I'm just practicing, I'm just enjoying and playing a little bit. I was embarrassed of being busking in the street, you know.
What city did you start in?
I started in Malaga. I started here
Okay.
where I live.
Okay.
And when I saw people I knew, I was embarrassed and I was afraid of judgment, And I remember I need to spend the whole evening and the whole day playing in order to make at least 12 euros, which is $10,
Okay.
and, um, but that was a beginning, and you start practicing. You go every day to the street and you start playing every single day, and you get better just by practicing. And then when you see you are getting better and you are improving, then you get more confident in your skills and what you can do. And when eventually somebody just recognizes your talent, somebody just come and say, hey, I love how you play, I love how you sing, I would love to have you in my wedding, or I would love to have you in my venue, or I would love you to perform. um, that's a boost. That's a very, very powerful boost for your confidence as an artist, and you keep growing from there. Also, I remember during those times I was most of the time in the streets, not only playing, but yeah, in the streets. Like every time I make some money, I was just enjoy like a beer or something at some place, and I had a lot of time for myself. When you are busy in college, or you're busy in a job, or you're busy, you don't have enough time to reflect and to meditate about life and to observe life. And I had a lot of time for myself, plenty of time. I was aware of a lot of things people my age were not aware, and I was observing things. I was playing in the streets, but at the same time I was observing, and I was more aware of myself. And there is something beautiful when you are an artist, is that the your creativity is the perfect tool to understand yourself. Because when you express your emotions, when you express your feelings with your art, then you get to know your feelings better, because you understand them better. You can listen to them, you can read them, or you can see them if you paint. So that's a perfect tool to know yourself. So I was getting into this point of, I was knowing myself, I was understanding myself, I was observing life from a different perspective. I was always in the streets, and I decided to go a step further, and I start living in the streets. I told my parents, like, hey, I think I take for granted everything that I have, the house, the bed, the bathroom, everything. I felt like I wasn't valuing. Is that correct? Valuing? I wasn't.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Just those yeah, those normal everyday things. Right.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was I was used to them. I wasn't value them. So I started like missing them, because I started living in the streets and playing music. And you know, I was always around the beggars and the drug addicts and the alcoholics. I was around these people every day. And I remember living life-changing experiences, like 5 or 6 every day, like completely life-changing experiences, from 5 to 6 every day. And like, I remember coming back sometimes to my hometown in Malaga, because these journeys took me sometimes far away. I went to London, or I traveled around the whole Spain, which is not big, but
Yeah.
but it's something, but I remember coming back sometimes, and I was a really different person, because of the experiences I was living and everything I was understanding about myself, about life. And I
Mhm.
remember coming back to my hometown, to my people, to my friends and family. They were not accepting this change.
Right.
They were not, yeah, they were not really understanding and accepting, because it was like, you were just a week outside, and you were just traveling, and it was just a week. How can you change that much in a week? Like, they didn't know, so it was also hard to come back and not feeling seen, not feeling um accepted. So at some point, uh, I started look deeper in myself and say, okay, if I want them to accept me, I had to accept first that they don't accept me, because it was easier for me at that point to run away.
Mm.
For me, the easiest choice was to, like, okay, they don't get me, they don't understand me. Like, the easiest path, or the the easiest decision is like to run,
Right.
not coming back, finding make a living in a different place, and and just making a call once a month or twice, once every
Right.
2 months, and that's it. So it's hard to come back to your environment, to your family, and accept the fact that they don't understand your changes and everything. So one of the important things when we speak about creativity and how creativity can save your life is, like, when we say save your life, we immediately think about death in terms of my body is death,
Right.
you know. But there's another way of dying, which is like not having a sense of purpose, not having a sense of life, not being happy in life. You can be dead in a body in this life, because you are disconnected of your passion, your emotions, and your true self. So I was more aware of myself because I was expressing myself. So I really wanted to make this change and say, okay, they don't accept me. I don't need their acceptance. I accept myself. I'm just happy of where I am. And creativity is a tool also, because you need to be creative to overcome challenges in your life. So it's not only that you have to be connected to your creativity. Like, if you do music, play music, or if you write, just write. When you are connected to your creative side, you can also find creative ways to overcome obstacles and challenges in life. You get more in touch with your, okay, let's see how can I handle this situation. So that's also very important when it comes to be creative. And eventually, during this period of time, and in the streets, and reflecting and observing and meditating, because I discovered the pleasure of meditating and the pleasure of being alone. As I told you, during this period of time, it was easier for me to be alone and enjoying my own company than being surrounded by people who I felt were not accepting me. So it was easier for me to be alone, and I discovered the pleasure of being alone, which is something not everybody uh, get to know in this lifetime. And it's wonderful to be alone, because you get comfortable there, and you can understand how everything is connected. In this cycle that we all know, like, the rain falls and it waters the ground, and then the trees grow, and then the fruits come, and then we eat the fruits, and then it comes back to the earth. And we are in this cycle that we forgot we are connected, and that everything is it's one. We breathe the oxygen from the trees, and we are connected to this cycle. Everything is connected, everything is one. So when you get to this point of understanding that everything is one, everything is connected, then if they are not accepting you, it's something you are not accepting from yourself. And this path of choosing being creative, choosing being an artist, is a path of self-acceptance. It's to accept who you are. It's to accept your feelings, your emotions, uh, your subconscious. Also, we are sometimes so focused on our daily, you know, schedules and everything, that we forgot that we have a subconscious mind, and we process information in a subconscious level, and there's stuff in there, and if you're not aware of that things, they can control you. They can control your life, and you're not aware of that. Yeah, you're making decisions based on your subconscious programming and information. So it's very important sometimes to observe yourself, and to try to be more aware of your feelings and everything. So yeah, I have all the talk written here. I don't know if people are writing questions, or they are writing stuff. I don't see the comments.
Yeah. No,
So
not currently. But um, but Okay, so you say you just gained greater clarity by actually changing your life, and that produced greater clarity in, how you saw things, how you felt about things. Um, and it changed your creativity changed from that standpoint.
Yes, because as I told you, this as I said, this is a process of get to know yourself, and you are constantly evolving and you're constantly changing. We're not the same person we were 2 days ago or even 5 years ago, you know. So so we are in this path of self-discovery, and we're always changing, so we never stop. So our art, our feelings, they just change and they get mature, and you are experimenting all the time with your creativity. You also have to prove things and to get out of your comfort zone, like try things, try new things and experiment. Don't get too comfortable in what you do. Once you reach a certain level of confidence, try new things in order to challenge that confidence and to grow. um, because that's also the pleasure of being creative. It's like never finding never finding perfection, never finding an end. Creation is limitless. And I saw myself going through different um, stages, or how do you say? Yeah. I made hip hop, I made electronic music, I made songwriter music, like folk music with the guitar. I'm now I'm making like more popular music, and eventually I started like creating my own sound, like mixing all these influences and genres and everything, and you start finding your own sound, your own voice all the time. So it's like don't get too comfortable, because you never find the ending of this, right?
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, we hope to hear your voice and as you grow and develop. Do you have? Um, I know you mentioned. Do you have some songs on Spotify or
Yes.
YouTube?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yes, if you write my name on YouTube or in Spotify, Eli Anai,
Hmm.
you can find some of my music, and I'm working on different songs now, as you said in the introduction, with also people from different countries, because I really want to explore different cultures. Oh, my son is here. Wait a minute. Vete a la camita, porfa. Enseguida voy, ¿vale? it's my
You,
it's my 5-year-old boy.
you can introduce them to us.
Sorry. What is that?
I said you can introduce him to us, and if he's
Oh
ready to
no,
go.
he's kind of a sleepy face now. It's not the right moment. But yeah,
um,
as I was speaking about, like, yeah, knowing different cultures. I really want to explore the world. I want to get influenced by and know different cultures, different people, different traditions. I want to experiment and enjoy life the fullest. To the fullest.
right. Um, so you said you've gone through different stages of music, um, and now you're finding your own voice, and your own voice is uh, a folk
Okay.
or it's
I
you
mean,
know.
I have a lot of influences. I love R&B music. I love soul music. I love pop music, also popular
Okay.
music. It's kind of my rock music. So I have like a blend of styles, and every song you can hear like different. I also have Colombian parents, you
Okay.
know, and Colombian roots. So you can hear some of Latin in my music, and it's kind of this beautiful thing that you can blend different genres and styles. So I don't know how to define it, because when you define it, you limit it. So it's hard
Right.
for me to say when people
Yeah.
ask me like which genre or which. It's like, yeah, you have to hear it. You just have to hear it. Just go to Spotify, go to YouTube, and check it out.
Yeah, yeah, you have to keep listening to new things all the time. Because I know now in the United States, when they do a music awards thing, it's either rap or hip hop, and
Yeah,
uh, and Taylor Swift, and that's about it. Those are the three things, you know.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to keep listening for new people like you to find out, um, where the creativity is, and where the future is, basically. Um,
yeah,
so
yeah. But I and now I'm most the things that the artists that captivate me or that interest me the most are the ones who use their creativity and their talent to give voice to the voiceless and to give voice to major purposes like peace, like global peace, or
right,
like love, like unity, all these artists, because there's a lot of beautiful ways to express these major things, like peace and love and unity. And it's not something new. We've been from past generations to speak about these things, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And the more options are now with technology, and the more creative people become, thanks to technology also, because they use it in a very specific way. And there's no, as I told you, there's no end. Every day on Instagram, or in YouTube, I see artists doing incredible and amazing things, and that how they put their talents and their creativity in service of this major purpose, which is love and peace. And that's what amazes me the most at the moment and inspires me to keep going. Yeah.
right, right. I mean, it's so um, everywhere you go, and particularly as you said with the street musicians and things, there's just so many talented people out there, um,
Mm.
giving, sending messages, entertaining, just really talented and creative. Uh, it makes you feel better when you run into a situation like that. You say, okay, um, it's just not have to be the same everyday humdrum life. We can go out and we can see this creativity, and we see, the differences around the world. And, I imagine that you run into things that you're really looking for these things to incorporate into your views and your messages and things.
Yeah, this is a beautiful thing. I remember sometimes when I was playing in the streets, how people would stop by, and some of them just come and they give me a hug, or they just say, "Hey, thank you. You just made me forget about my problems for just 2 minutes," and you give this, and that's how I also started developing this sense of purpose, because it was something like, it was not at the beginning, it was not on purpose, that I was just making music, but eventually it happens that I was touching people, and the people felt grateful for me being there. And not only that gave me confidence, but also a sense of, okay, I have to do this in a major scale, not only in my neighborhood, not only in my hometown. I want to reach more people. I want more people to get touched by these songs of peace and love. And I want to write more songs about this. There's a lot of things that we can say. And sometimes I feel like when I'm speaking to somebody, they don't want to listen, but maybe if I sing, they want to listen.
Right. Right. Um, and how would, and, just generally, Spain and Europe, and, what's the mood of the population? Are they,
That's an interesting question. That's a very
yeah,
interesting.
um,
I
yeah, I
I
mean,
would
here we know what we think in the United States, but we really don't know anything about the rest of the world. It's
mm,
um,
I mean, like that. I would say, like, I feel, because maybe it's also the environment that you move yourself in, that you are influenced by the most. Like everything I see, everything I search on the internet, everything I surround myself with is this positive context, and these artists which are speaking about love and playing for change and playing for peace. So I don't pay attention to anything else. So
Yeah.
I don't know about that anything else, but I know that there is a hunger for a different world. There is a hunger for more empathy, for more love, for more understanding, for more peace, and everything I see in not only in Europe, but around, like, nowadays with social media, you see what's happening everywhere.
Right.
And I feel like the youth are with this hunger for changes, and they are doing great stuff. There are a lot of artists out there doing a great job and creating major changes in their neighborhoods, in their cities, and in their countries, and that's what moves me, and that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing also. I started small, and eventually you get bigger naturally, and the more and the confident you become, the more confident you become, the more fearless you become, and you want to go everywhere, limitless.
Right. You're limitless. And then when you said playing for change, I know that's there is a
Yeah,
YouTube channel called Playing for Change, and
yeah,
it's all the well, mostly the street musicians, and it's really, once you sort of run into it accidentally, and then you listen to it for 10-15 minutes, and it just changes you. It's like, oh, you know I remember that, and that really makes me feel good. And um, it's a good way to spend a little time. And these people are what we like to say, they're organic. um, they just grow out of their own emotion and their own happiness and their own feelings, and they just let it display to everybody around them. So that's, and as you said, people stop and listen to you, and then for 5 minutes, and they feel happy, and
yeah,
uh, they enjoy the performance, and it uplifts them and uplifts you at the same time.
yeah. It's beautiful how creativity, like life and creativity for me are the same word, and life and creativity are the real master. Mejor no puedo ir para allá. Ve para la camita, porfa. Porfa, enseguida voy. and and you can't rush your own process of learning. You know, even though somebody wants to teach you something, if you are not ready for the lesson, you are not gonna hear the lesson. And society sometimes, maybe they have good intentions. Society may have good intentions, and may want want us to learn things that can be useful, but everybody has their own pace,
Right.
and we are our own masters. We decide when to learn, when we are ready, and when we want to hear, and when we know, and when we are able to express ourselves, and when we write or make music or dance or whatever, when we are in touch with our creativity, we are more willing to grow and to learn, because that's a natural process. That's curiosity. That's okay. Now what can I do next? I know how to make this chord progression. Now let me try to use this beat, and let me try to, and with curiosity you're open to grow, and that you can also translate that into your life, not only in music, but okay, now I want to be more curious. I want to learn a different language, or I want to do this, or you're more open to your growth when you're in touch with creativity and curiosity, right? So it's also like, um not don't rush your own process, just trust your own process, and don't let anybody outside of you, society, family, friends, whoever,
Right.
just rush you. Just go on at your own pace. Eventually you will be happier, and you will be wiser. You will be wise. At the end of the day, is all about not letting people influence you, but being able to influence people in a positive way, and that's how you can change things.
Right. um, you said you started at a young age. Did you have somebody that encouraged you, helped you along the way, or did you have to be the rebel against the
I
group?
mean, you as it's life. Every role model I have, they all fall from the pedestal,
Yeah.
all of them. And that was sometimes a hard pill to swallow. It was hard because you want to put somebody in a pedestal and you want to admire somebody, but if you want to grow, eventually they have to fall. If you are a follower, you'll never be a leader. And in order to become a leader, you have to stop following. You have to create and create your own path. And if somebody wants to follow you for a while, that's good. But also when people start like following me like in a very, how do you say, unhealthy way,
Right.
I always try to remind them like, hey, I understand there's something you saw that may inspire you. You get inspired by something, but don't forget that if you saw that, it's because you saw that you were able to see it. It's not me. It's you were able to perceive and to be aware of this about me that inspired you. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
if you were able to see it, it's because you have it. It's already in you. Don't forget you are your own master. Just let life do her thing or its thing with you, and be patient with yourself and be open to learn and to grow.
Yes. I mean, do we need to encourage other people around us to just, go and do uh, pursue their talents? And as you say, you have to grasp the idea, you have to grasp the feeling, this is what I meant to do, and just go and do it without uh, bending to criticism you might hear. And that's sort of the message or sort of the development that you went through.
Yes, follow your inner voice, follow your own inspiration, because at the end of the day, when we create masters, we create also like we can radicalize things. That's what happens with maybe Jesus, or some other masters that came and people they put them in a very high pedestal. And when you put somebody in a high pedestal, then you are lower, and there's no unity, there's no balance, because he's higher, you are lower. You have to understand that you can be your own master. You don't need, yeah, everything you need is inside of you, and you can access to that mastery every time, because we are all connected. And and when you put the focus on yourself and you listen to your own intuition and your own creativity and your own inner voice, you will learn everything you need to learn. You don't have to look outside. So that's kind of also the message I try to give with my music, because that's what I found. All my role models, like from the beginning, even my family, the people around me, my teachers, and then the people I saw on TV, the actors, the musicians, everybody, they fall from the pedestal, because when you have to learn, you have to understand that they also have their own path, and they had to make mistakes, and and nobody's perfect, you know. And when you accept that and nobody's perfect, I'm not perfect either. So I can live in peace.
Yeah. All we can do is give encouragement and maybe a little praise and encouragement and keep people on their path. Um, I think we tend to maybe be more roadblocks to a lot of people than encouragers,
Mm,
apparently, yeah, especially parents to children, and a lot of times they just, I guess they don't understand, and you have to follow your own voice, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you do that, that's what you want for other people, because you discover. I in my own experience, it was hard sometimes, because sometimes you wished somebody was there for you. You wish somebody was able to guide you, because in my family nobody was like, oh yeah, I was in the pursuit of my dreams and I achieved them, so this is how you do it,
Okay.
you know. So and everybody was telling me kind of the opposite, like, don't chase your dreams. Gordito, por favor, espérame en la cama, estoy haciendo algo importante. por favor, espérame en la cama, intenta concentrarte. So everybody was telling me, don't chase your dreams, don't go for your dreams. So that you have nobody, no references, and then everybody you look up to, it's you never know who they are. You know, you can see them on TV, you can get inspired by some how they dress or an interview, some words, but like, you know, knowing ourselves is a lifetime it's a lifetime affair. It's a lifetime thing. You know, we're constantly knowing ourselves and changing and evolving. So how can we pretend we can know somebody? We can know somebody. You know, like what we know about other people is just the percentage they show according to the percentage they know at the moment of themselves. You follow me? You know,
Yeah.
so so every time you get inspired by something or somebody, is your idea of who they are, but is your idea, is you're getting inspired by your own idea and expectations. Is maybe it's not reality. Maybe that person you're inspired by is a completely opposite, but he's showing on TV this face or this mask, you know. So at the end of the day, everything is also in your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, what you think about life. And so that's when you start, okay, I'm not going to follow, I'm just going to create my own path. And then people start following you, and at the same time it's a test, because you can assume this role. Okay, now people come follow me, I know where to go, you know, is this the way? But it can be wrong, because your way is not for everybody, because everybody's different. So you have to be humble enough to say, okay, this is my way and it works for me, but it may not work for you. It may not be your way. So what I suggest you, or what I encourage you, is to find and to create your own way. And in order to create a way, you have to be in touch with your creativity, because our major piece of art, our biggest piece of art as artists, is our life. It's not our music, it's not our books, it's not our paintings, it's our life. It's what we do with our life.
Okay, and since you expanded, music is your main creative um, venue, are there other areas that you feel you've become more creative in? As you said, maybe um, writing, painting, any other creative things that
Yes,
flow out of your music?
yes. I write my own songs, and I
Okay.
love telling stories. So I also love writing. And it's also something I do just for understanding myself. Sometimes the noise inside, the feelings, I don't understand them inside, and I need to write them down. You know, okay, this is what I'm feeling. So I developed the habit of writing not only my feelings, but stories, songs. And also my wife, she's a painter. She paints.
Okay.
So she started doing this workshop of get to know yourself and get to know your feelings through art, through painting.
Right.
So I was curious, and I did with her. So I take some paintings and I start painting stuff. And she told me, like, paint your biggest fear. Now just focus on your biggest fear and try to paint that fear. And maybe it's an abstract thing, or maybe it's something very concrete, but just try to paint whatever you're afraid of. And that was a powerful experience. You know, I don't paint much, but I like to paint.
Yeah.
And
So,
also I love dancing. You know, every time I put some music on, I like just to let go all the tension, let go all the stress by dancing. And and sometimes I go to a group of friends here in Malaga. They do the ecstatic dance. I don't know if you guys know what it is, an ecstatic dance.
I'm not familiar with it. No.
Okay, it's kind of a very modern culture stuff. You know, they just go to, and you make exercise while dancing, like
Yeah. So,
try to perform your own life and try to tell your own story just dancing.
okay. So
And
it's
that was something amazing. You know, when I heard of that the first time, it's like, and they do this kind of exercises, like, you know, like just find a partner in the party
Mhm.
and tell your story dancing. And that was amazing, you know, all these kind of exercises that blend creative sides and everything. That's something beautiful.
Yeah. So it's just a free flowing dance that
Yeah.
you do want to do, right?
Yeah, but how do you tell your story? Like, how do you tell your story? How you were born, how you see life, how you understand things, with just dancing. You don't have to talk. You don't have to. You just have to dance. That's something nice. You know, that's that kind of things that call my eye and my interest every time.
And I mean, that's interesting. And I don't know if I don't think I'm much of a dancer, so it's a little awkward. So I don't know how much it would flow, but um, it's good. I think in Spain we associate dancing with the culture in Spain anyway, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's kind of also the challenge, you know. I read a quote yesterday on Instagram that said, I'll try to quote it perfectly. I don't know if I remember how it was, but it was like, when you lose when you lose the fear of being judged, then you start being an artist. You know,
Yeah.
is that simple, because we are used to, like, I don't sing well, I don't dance well, or I don't paint well. But what is well? You know, what is well, what is good, and what is bad when it comes to express, you know. So that's also a mirror of how we treat ourselves, and how we are so used to judge ourselves and other people, that we don't give permission to ourselves to express ourselves, because, mm, to avoid being judged by other people, we are the first ones to judge us, and we sentence us, and we just finish that. So that fear is the first judgment, and it comes from us. So that's the challenge. Let go of that judgment. Don't judge yourself. Accept your feelings. Accept that you, at the beginning, you are not gonna sing like Whitney Houston,
Right.
or or I don't know. But, you know, for example, you can hear some artists, like, I don't know, there are some songs like Michael Jackson songs, or, for example, like John Lennon. He's not like Pavarotti, or like, he's not an amazing, like, how do you qualify a good or a bad singer? For me, it's just how they are able to transmit or to make me feel something. Maybe their voice sounds different,
Right.
but if it can makes me feel something, if it can touch me, or if it can move me, then it's art, then it's creativity, you know. So yeah, those are the blockages, and the limiting beliefs you have to observe, and to let go, in order to grow as an artist, and to be confident in who you are. Because at the end of the day, what you are expressing through your art is who you are.
Right. Now, when you're writing a new song, um, how often do you rewrite the song? You start with an idea. Um, is it does it just come to you, or you develop it? You write it, you rewrite it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's both.
yeah.
I think it's both. Some Because I really take my time to communicate and to talk with the idea before I bring it to life. Um, so the inspiration is instantly. So it's just a moment of, okay, I feel inspired. I want to write. I want to, sit down in the keyboard or in the guitar and play some chords and start a melody or something, you know. And then I just sit down with the idea, and I change everything. I try to different perspectives, and if it's not working, I can go back. You know, I can go back to the point where it was working, and the idea just guide me to the place. Also, you have to know when to let go. You know, and not get too attached, because you have to, at some point, you have to give birth to that idea and you have to let go. It's not yours anymore. It wasn't yours in the first. It wasn't yours in the first time. You know, you were chosen for you were chosen. And if you're not going to hear the idea will find another person. So you just have to be open and be able to communicate with the idea. Try not to be too perfectionist. You know, try to improve the idea and to make it sound, and to and have this work ethic, but also know when to let go and when you say, okay, it's ready, and I'm ready to let go and to start a new project. So sometimes some songs can take me, maybe a month. Some other can take me a year or something like that in order to develop the whole thing. Yeah.
Have you ever written a song in a day?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Yes, yes.
It
But
just
also,
it all came together, right?
yeah, it was just like at the moment, and it also depends of what you want to express. Sometimes some songs are to share, some songs are just for me, they're just for myself, and they end up being able, and they end up all being just for me, even if I want to share them, because sometimes I find myself listening to my own music and getting the message. Oh, damn. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, now I get it. Sometimes the idea comes and you're not ready for it. You feel, oh, what an amazing idea. People are going to love this.
Right.
But you discover that it was a message for you, maybe a month, 2 months later, and it was a message for you to, okay, I have to be aware of this. I have to pay attention to this.
Right. And then instead of one song, you get a full suite of songs. Now you get 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you go around, exactly. The more you develop an idea, the bigger it becomes, and it can become more songs or an album, or you can just find different perspectives. Also, I every time I'm writing a song, I see the video in my head. I also love directing videos. I also love creating stories and telling stories. Not only writing, but also I see pictures and images, and I like to relate every sound with an image.
Right. Now I know the other day when we spoke, do you still do covers for other songs, or you're just doing your own songs?
Yeah, I'm still doing covers because I've been doing that for a long time, and it evolved into making me play in the best venues in town, and people know me for that. People know me for performing covers and of others people's, and they like my versions, and they like how I play them and how I sing them. And eventually I end up playing in a very, very good venues and making a living out of this. So the transition to make my own music and to live and make a living out of my own music is just something that's natural. Sometimes I get impatient, sometimes I want I want it now. But it's what I tell you before. You have to respect the process, you have to respect the pace, and everything comes natural when you are moving but not rushing. Okay, 1:49.
I know it's late for you, right?
Yeah.
So, anybody in our audience have questions?
Yeah, please. Just feel free
Adriana.
to.
Adriana? I don't know what I.
Hola, hi, how are you?
Hey, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Good to see you again.
Same here, same here. I'm fascinated by what you're talking today. And to me, 2 questions.
Okay.
Do you consider yourself a channel to deliver messages through the songs you write?
Wow, that's a very beautiful question. Thank you. That's an amazing question. Yes, because at some point you have to let go of your perception of who you are. Those ideas, I am not the origin of those songs. as I was speaking to Mark, those ideas chose you. The ideas chose you, and you have to be humble enough to listen to the idea and to channel that idea in the proper way, the way the idea wants. Because if we go deeper, we can understand ideas as beings, as you and I. We were ideas at some point, and they have their plans, they have their own intentions, and if you are not willing to listen those intentions, and you want to put your ego in the middle of the equation, and it's going to be like this and this and that, then maybe the inspiration or the idea is going to leave you and choose another one who is willing to be more accepting and more willing to bring that to life.
Are you aware if the universe used you specific and some and a specific times in a day? This is a nighttime, is you connect more during the day, night, at this time of the night, late? Because I heard many musicians, they say, I mean, I come from a musician family, they connect more really late, like in between 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, something wake them up, and they have to start writing the song.
Like if we go deeper in the question before, in the question you made before, ideas, they have their intentions and they have their own plans, so they will strike you, they will come when they feel it's the right time. Maybe they just knock at the door sometimes, and you're not there, you're not available because you're too busy. But I think I really feel ideas are constantly trying to communicate with us, and it's also it's a blend, it's a combination of being open to receive that, and also a conscious decision to try to open to those ideas. It's also a conscious decision. So it can come if you really focus and you really want. You can connect with ideas, and you can connect with your creativity and bring them back and bring them here. Or they can you are just walking in the street 5 p.m. and suddenly the idea comes. It's both. For me, it's both. It can happen both ways.
I see. I love the idea. You say you go down sometime and you can tell the people about your lives through the dance. Now, my question is, if you have to tell us about your life with music, which were the first word you will use?
I remember the first lyrics I started writing, and the first songs I started writing, that I was telling my own story, because when I was 7 years old or 8 years old, I was writing music, but the songs were like trying to imitate. I was trying to, the songs I like, I was saying the same thing, but with my own words, so I was just copying, at that point. But eventually, when I was a teenager and I started writing my own songs, it was all about like my pain, because my parents divorced when I was 13, so that's when I start getting emotional, and that's how creativity also saved my life, because during those times it was dark times for me. I was lost. I was a teenager, and my parents, they just divorced, and everything seems like black. So I started writing, even if they were sad songs, very, very sad songs, but I was able to express myself, and I was able to understand those feelings thanks to the fact that I was expressing them in music. And every time I was playing those songs, I was able to release and to cry and to let go and to move forward and to keep going. Eventually things get better, and I started also writing happy songs, and And you know, if you don't live, if you don't have experiences, if you don't have stories to tell, ideas are not going to come. You know, you can have a lot of talent, but if you don't live, if you don't get out of your comfort zone and have some fun and adventures and grow and experience, then all those messages, you can put them in a song. So now everything I write is because I first live and then I write, you know, and then I produce.
That's right. And that's very what is this session about. Creativity really can save your life.
Definitely 100%.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Adriana. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It's funny when you said first you live and then you would write, and you know, when you're talking about the dancing and various things. But when you said that one sentence, the first thing that jumped into my mind was you would have to parachute out of a plane, and then subsequently you could write a song. You know, I mean, that would be an experience, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful, you know, because at the end of the day, everything is connected. So life is creativity and your art, and that's who you are, and that's who we are. We are art, we are creativity, we are creation, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's something like, if you really want to live, just be creative.
Okay, anybody have questions?
Okay. I'm looking to.
Hello, good
Yes.
evening.
Angelica.
Hi.
Hi.
It's more like I want to know if it's any tool, or do you have any advice for me, because I've been feeling lately like I want to sing, but I don't know how to start, so I don't know what to do. I just sing in the bathroom.
Okay, that's a good beginning.
So, but I never liked my voice, but lately I've been feeling like I want to sing, and I don't know, I have this thing, but I don't know what to do, how to start. Maybe you know about any tool or something like I can use.
Okay. Okay. First of all, it's not having expectations. You know,
Yes.
just sing for the pleasure of singing. Sing for yourself. Like if you think about singing in order to make a living out of it, or as a
Oh no.
career, okay, you know, like you know, that's another. Mi amor, yo estoy aquí, me puedes escuchar desde aquí, mi amor. No estás solo, pero esto es importante, tengo que hacerlo, mi amor. ¿Te quieres quedar aquí conmigo? Venga, ponte ahí con la mantita. So don't have expectations, and just sing for the pleasure of singing, and enjoy your singing, and that naturally will lead you to other stages. Like uh, everything is movement, everything is always moving and evolving and changing. So if you start creating the habit of just singing in the bathroom, or just singing in the shower and in the kitchen and singing, that's as I was speaking to Mark, that's a powerful tool to get to know yourself and to get to know your feelings, because you sing what you feel. So pay attention, not only sing for the pleasure of singing, but also pay attention to your emotions, to your feelings when you are singing, and why you are singing, and when you are more likely to sing, and when you are more likely to be silent, and get to know yourself, and use it as a tool to understand yourself better, and let's see, and eventually that process will lead you to challenges, or to different stages of your life, you know. Sometimes creativity is what take us and lead us and teach us, you know. So just pay attention and enjoy singing. That would be my advice.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure,
I like
Angelica. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I've heard that advice to numerous people that eventually became creative, but they didn't know where to start. And so the advice to them was copy somebody else, learn the mechanics of what they've done. Once you know the mechanics, then you can go and become creative with your own thoughts, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of times if you don't know the mechanics, then you just start out saying, well, I'll never do anything.
Yeah.
But they just said, no, copy somebody else. No harm in that.
Yeah, definitely. Start copying and imitating, and eventually it will lead you to try new things, because we are curious by nature. We are curious. We also want to know what's next. We also want to know what's now. So you start copying, and then you want to change. Now, if you hear me sing the covers I sing, they're nothing to do with the originals. I just made my own version of the song. As you can hear, a lot of artists do this. You can hear, sometimes I want to listen to the song, to one song, but I don't go to the original. I go to this version, which I like most, you know? So that's it. We're always evolving and creating different things.
Well, I know I listened to one of your songs on Instagram, and you're just an amazing guitarist. I mean, the song, even though it was Hallelujah, and I was listening to the lyrics, I was listening more to the guitar, and it was very, very good. You know, so,
I don't get that often.
No,
I don't get that often. Thank you, Mark. I don't get that often. Thank you very much.
I thought, I mean, the guitar is what stood out to me in terms of that particular song. So I'm going to have to go listen to more and find out. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So I would say, for me, to end up, like, to wrap everything again, and to finish a little bit, because it's late here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody has any other question. Let's see.
I don't see any volunteers.
No, nobody?
No.
Please, we have 11 participants. Feel free to ask. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I don't know why my screen is off. I did something that I don't know. Well, I just I want to say thank you for your time, for express all these beautiful things. I get impacted with that thing that you say about the creativity save your life, and I think you are part of save a lot of lives, because music is something that is so important for the brain, for our emotions, for the vibrations that it creates. It's so beautiful. And I was listening to your music, and I see that you can express not just in words, but with all your passion that you put. It's really, really very nice to hear your songs, and just to say thank you, and very happy to hear what you say.
Thank you. I really appreciate your words. Thank you very much.
No, apparently there's some chat questions, but I can't open them. So.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Let me see. Yes, such a beautiful person. I love your message. Go and rest. Rest. Let's see. Is there any other interaction here? Not really.
It was me. It wasn't a question. Hi, Eli.
Oh, hey,
how are you?
I'm good.
I love the message. I love the things you say. Everything, I feel it. So now I'll hear your music, and thank you for keep doing it, and because you are an inspiration for us. for people like normal people, for everybody. Thank you. I love it.
Thank you for your words. I really appreciate
I'm
that.
Colombian, so
Hey,
you
que
have
viva
my
mi gente. Que viva mi gente. Gracias,
from
muchas
Bogota.
gracias.
Not. Thank you. Go and rest. Time to sleep.
Yeah, I think, Ellie, it's late there.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
Your son needs to go back to bed.
Yeah.
But no, I thank you. I think it was a really, really nice presentation. And I think we all feel a little bit better about, just knowing that we're connected and we should all be creative. Probably every day, every morning when you wake up, you might think about being more creative. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. It was a very, very beautiful talk. Yeah, a very beautiful conversation. Thank you to all the people who tuned in and who were following the conversation, and for your beautiful words. Just to wrap everything and to summarize everything, just try to be creative, connect with your creativity. It's not only just singing, it's not only just music, it's also cooking, it's just living life with passion and with purpose, and with the sense that we're all connected, and to contribute and to make the world a better place.
Hey, very well spoken. Thank you for your thoughts and your energy. It's really, really nice. So.
It was a pleasure.
Okay.
See you next time.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Take care.